Ripple's prime entry into US marks a systemic shift for digital assets. This is institutional crypto crossing the Rubicon, putting XRP and RLUSD at the center of Wall Street trade flows and risk management. For the first time, banks and funds can access true prime brokerage for digital assets, unlocking deep liquidity, cross-asset margining, and professional-grade settlement powered by Ripple's infrastructure. This launch transforms XRP from a speculative token into a core instrument for institutional finance and enabling it to serve as cross-bridge liquidity, collateral, and the backbone of a sophisticated OTC derivatives and financing strategies. We're talking about Ripple's Prime today, making new moves in the industry. I want to get into what this means for Ripple and XRP holders. Let's just jump right in here. Ripple, a financial technology company that offers crypto solutions for businesses, today announced the launch of its digital asset spot prime brokerage capabilities for the United States markets. The US-based institutional clients are now able to execute OTC spot transactions across dozens of most prominent digital assets, including XRP and RLUSD. Following the acquisition of multi-asset prime brokerage Hidden Road, Ripple has combined its licenses with Hidden Road solutions under Ripple Prime, providing new capabilities where institutions can seamlessly access foreign exchange, digital assets, derivatives, swaps, and fixed incomes. Remember, Ripple does cover 90% of the FX market, which is about $7.5 trillion per day in clearing. This is one of Ripple's solutions to give financial institutions the power to use XRP or RLUSD in those markets. The launch of OTC spot execution capabilities completes our existing suites of OTC and cleared derivative services in digital assets and positions us to provide US institutions with a comprehensive offering to suit their trading strategies and needs, says Michael Higgins, International CEO, Ripple Prime. With the launch, Ripple Prime's US-based clients can cross-margin OTC spot transactions and holdings with the rest of their digital asset portfolio, including OTC swaps and CME futures and options. Paul Barron says Ripple's launching US-based prime brokerage services is huge for crypto. Here's why it matters. Institutional grade infrastructure in a regulated market builds more connections. More legitimacy equals more capital inflows. Direct competition with Coinbase Prime Anchorage and the maturation of crypto infrastructure continues. Now, here's a great thread from Ripple Bullwinkle, and he says, thread, Ripple just went full Wall Street, Hidden Road, now Ripple Prime. Here's what just happened. Ripple quietly completed the acquisition of Hidden Road, a multi-asset prime brokerage handling FX, swaps, and derivatives for institutions. The firm is now officially Ripple Prime. Ripple Prime now offers digital asset spot prime brokerage, meaning US institutions can trade OTC across dozens of major cryptos, including XRP and RLUSD. Think crypto meets Wall Street. Ripple now controls payments with Ripple Payments Custody, Ripple Custody, stablecoin issuance, RLUSD, prime brokerage, which is Ripple Prime. We're going to be interested to see what they name G Treasury, which was their latest acquisition. Now, that's not just a crypto company anymore. It's an institutional empire. The kicker, Ripple Prime clients can cross-margin OTC swaps and even CME futures, where we did see XRP futures explode in a very quick succession, bigger than we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum. This isn't just bullish for Ripple, it's infrastructure level integration between crypto and traditional finance. The rails are being rebuilt and XRP is the settlement layer sitting beneath it all. The global playbook is clear. FX plus derivatives plus stablecoins plus on-demand liquidity equals complete institutional suite. Ripple is now a full-service digital asset bank minus the bank label, which should be coming soon. This isn't speculation anymore. It's about flows, liquidity, and access. I thought that was a great little clip. We got a big announcement from Absa, one of the largest banks in South Africa, working with Ripple Custody. Here's what you need to know. Absa Bank, one of the largest financial institutions, has partnered with Ripple to launch digital asset custody platform for institutional clients, marking Ripple's one of the first major custody deal in Africa. The partnership brings secure and compliant storage of cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and other tokenized assets to South Africa, with plans to expand custody services to other African markets over time. Here's the most important highlights. Ripple Custody Technology. Absa integrates Ripple's institutional grade custody solution developed after Ripple's acquisition of Medico, offering regulated, secure digital asset storage to clients. The technology runs through its own infrastructure, allowing the bank to both own software and operational security. Remember, Ripple Custody and Medico are two different companies. For a time there, when they first got together, I thought it was just going to be Ripple Custody, but Medico is still operating under the Medico name, and Ripple Custody is operating under its name, so they can go out and expand under different clients using the same technology. African expansion. Absa is Ripple's first major custody bank partner in Africa and will be rolled out the service regionally, targeted places like Nigeria, Kenya, and Mauritius, increasing Ripple's footprint in a fast-growing African fintech market. And of course, stablecoin and XRP integration is important. Absa is exploring stablecoin issuance and looking closely at Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin and Circle's USDC for their adoption of potential across Africa. Why Ripple? Selected Ripple after its rigorous evaluation because Ripple invested in a local African staff, showing strategic commitment to the continent. So where other banks says, oh yeah, Africa is a priority, they don't even have offices or staff in the country. Ripple actually went out and built out the staff so they can go and make these connections and partnerships and be in meetings face to face with these people, which is super important. And this is why you see a lot of Ripple offices globally. They want to be where they're working, and this is a prime example of that. Regulatory context: the partnership rides on recent progress in South Africa and Pan-African crypto regulations, with the country designating crypto as a financial product and launching stablecoin pilots. Ripple's platform helps us meet strict operational regulatory requirements for digital assets. And I also want to say why this is important is there's going to be other banks that are looking at what Absa is doing with Ripple here. They're going to say, hey, we want to get into some of this as well. And I think that is going to be, this is just one of many partnerships that are going to be announced in the days to come. And then, of course, here is another point with custody, stablecoin, brokerage, and payments. This is from, I always forget this lady's name. I do apologize. Let me play this.
It's nice with, the Ripple organization, we have a number of different touch points with institutions. So take custody, for example. They'll sit down with large banks that are interested in tokenization. They know a lot about it, but they haven't done it firsthand and are really looking for, a guiding hand to walk them through, their tokenization journey. And that's something that our custody team has.
Jazzy Cooper. Her name is Jazzy Cooper from Ripple X. Sorry about that. Let me just back this up for a second.
Journey. And that's something that our custody team has been able to really lead the charge with and help some of the bigger legacy financial institutions take their initial steps there. And that's when, other products can be brought into the mix, ranging from RLUSD to the payments product, as well as XRP Ledger, of course. So that definitely helps. And then we have, more crypto forward organizations, some of the money market funds like Aberdeen, for example. They're an asset manager out of the UK, and they have a lot of really smart, forward-thinking ideas around how they can leverage the decentralized exchange with on-chain trading, and how they can really move beyond just bringing the asset on-chain to unlocking utility, with a mind for compliance and regulation and keeping things above bar. So definitely excited about the wide range of institutional use cases.
Ripple has some of the brightest and best people working for them, and I think we are seeing that as this grows. And then Reese Merrick, who is in charge of the Middle East and Africa, excuse me, a fascinating read on the strategic leap into digital asset custody and what it signals for Pan-African finance. We're proud to be Absa's trusted partner on this journey, supporting them with our bank-grade custody solutions, and sets a critical Pan-African benchmark for security and trust. And so this article, I kind of already went through and gave you the key points here when I went and talked to you about it already. Also, RLUSD has hit its $1 billion market cap mark. This is a huge step for Ripple. And of course, with Ripple Prime and G Treasury and Rail now joining the effort, RLUSD and XRP will drive faster, efficient, and more compliant settlement worldwide. This is how we advance the future of finance. And then Vet also posted this, that RLUSD is actually the 11th largest stablecoin by market cap in the world, which is really interesting. It looks like they've jumped here, this global dollar. And so this is behind a few. Look, BlackRock's here, PayPal here, World Liberty here with that $2 billion donation from CZ and Binance. Must be nice. And then you have DAI and a few other tokens here at the top. And of course, Ripple Swell will start to kick off. We'll get some announcements here tomorrow, and 4th and 5th, right? Tomorrow, you're going to get this video on the 4th, probably create some content live on the 4th with everything that I can find here. So make sure that you're following, you're subscribed, you got the bell notification turned on. So I'm going to bring it to you hot, guys, as it comes in. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for getting through this with me. Bye.